Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wa sallallahu wa sallama wa baraka ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This clip is inshaAllah in order to inform you of an anniversary event, 10-year anniversary event of a series of talks and lectures that started 10 years ago, 2012. In 2012, a series of lectures around the end of time and the ahadith on Ashratu Sa'a started on the 25th of December. The inception of these events was inspired by Al-Jama'atul Muhammadiyah based in Halifax, and we held these events in Road Street Masjid. The events were on the back of research from the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam after Al-Quranul Kareem, the verses of Al-Quranul Kareem and the ahadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam with regard to the end of times, Ashratu Sa'a, and how we relate to those signs of the end of times. This first event, which was held in 2012, was on the back of the Olympic Games, when there were many conspiracy theories with regard to the Olympic Games and nuclear attacks on the Olympic Stadium, as well as, if you remember, the Mayan calendar, the end of the Mayan calendar, and many people proposing that the end of times are coming and the end of the world will come about. Based on the back of that, the event was carried out in order to inform our Muslim public that the end of time, or Yawm al-Qiyamah, the Day of Judgment, cannot come until all the signs are fulfilled as foretold by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The purpose of the events was to inform our public with regard to the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so they do not go to astrologers, to myths, to deviant interpretations and other types of deviancies. The second event, which was held on the back of the first event, was an event which was entitled End of Times 2, The Rise and Fall of Ad-Dajjal. This was held also on the 25th of December 2013, so the following consecutive year. Now, the uniqueness of this particular event was that it may be the longest one single lecture given on Ad-Dajjal without a break, not only online but maybe having been given in a masjid. The lecture covered a huge corpus of the ahadith relating to Ad-Dajjal. It removed myth, it removed mist regarding the personality of Ad-Dajjal. After this, there was a third event, meaning throughout the decade, the previous decade. This was entitled End of Times 3, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, Gog and Magog. This was held also on 25th of December in 2016. Now, the event was around the subject of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. It also refuted certain personalities with regard to their misinterpretation of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. But it was important to give this lecture because some people were in denial of Ya'juj and Ma'juj because they believed it impossible for an entire nation to live behind a constructed barrier as was constructed by Sayyiduna Dhul Qarnayn alayhi salam. Then the final event, which was the end of times, or the end times, the final phase. This event was held in December 25th, also 2019. So 3 years ago, just before lockdown, before the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic. This event wrapped up the subject in terms of the nuzul of Sayyiduna Isa alayhi salam, the appearance of Al-Imam al-Mahdi and the other Ashratu Sa'a. But what this entire endeavor culminated in was a project of mine which I wrote post-lockdown, post-pandemic, which was the book Navigating the End of Time. Now, this book is a produce of these events, but also an entire journey of 25 years from the year 1996, in fact, as is mentioned in the introduction, up to this year 2022. But the group of Al-Jama'atul Muhammadiyah, with their encouragement to carry out these events, they inspired the production of this book also. So the final event that I am inviting to you, insha'Allah ta'ala, is not only on the back of this book. We live in a time now, Europe is at war with Russia. NATO is amassing forces on the borders of Ukraine and Russia, and Putin has entered Ukraine. The world is on a knife edge. Similarly, we have inflation, markets are failing, currencies are crashing. Additionally, we have wars, insurrections. All of this is covered in the book. What does this entail for Ashratu Sa'a? Over 10 years ago, I highlighted that the next signpost, major signpost of Ashratu Sa'a is the Euphrates River, the levels of the water decreasing and the appearance of gold. At that time, there were people who disagreed and they said that the meaning of the hadith is oil. I responded to them with thorough detail in those lectures as well as in this book. But these signs are occurring now. If we look and observe news reports with regard to the Euphrates River, you will find that the level waters are receding at a very quick pace, and the world is on an edge in terms of a war, an impending war. So this event will cover the book. The book will be available on the day also, but a summary of the entire book will be given insha'Allah ta'ala on the 25th of December. The details insha'Allah will be given at the end of this video. Insha'Allah ta'ala, I will see you there on the 25th of December in Road Street Masjid in Halifax after Salatul Isha, where we will cover the contents of this book insha'Allah ta'ala. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.